What's up, guys? It's Coach Rick. Just want to talk a little hitting. Actually, today we're going to talk a little bunting. Okay, today we're going to talk about sacrifice bunting. Okay, sacrifice bunting, it's what makes you a team player. Okay, the word sacrifice means you're giving up yourself for the better good of the team. Okay, guys who aren't good sacrifice bunters usually are selfish players. They usually would rather fail at doing the job for the team, okay, than get it done. Or they would rather fail, get to 2 strikes, and have the coach say, okay, go ahead. And then they would rather try to get a hit with 2 strikes than get the bunt down in an 0-0 count and do it for the team, okay? So first thing, the very first thing about being a good sacrifice bunter is put your ego away, okay? What we talk about here in the Nationals is quality at-bats. Okay, quality at-bats. It's not always about getting a hit, guys. Sometimes it's about having a quality at-bat. A sacrifice bunt is a quality at-bat in my book. You're 1 for 1. Your batting average may be 0 for 1, but your quality at-bat average is 1 for 1. And that's what really matters to a coach and to a team. Okay, so now let's get into the fundamentals of sacrifice bunting. First things first, you take your sign from your coach. Yes, sir, I got it. When you get into your stance, try to sneak up in the box slightly, okay? The reason we want to be up in the box is so that when we get set up, if the ball hits the bottom of our bat and drops straight down, the ball is now in fair territory, okay? On top of that, by moving up in the box, it gives us a better opportunity to bunt the ball in fair territory. When we're back like this, if I bunt the ball on a good angle, which normally would be in fair territory, it may go foul. Or if I bunt it and it goes straight down, it's going to be foul. Okay, so very important. Step 1, very first fundamental, is try to cheat up in the box. Okay? Second thing is we're going to wait until the pitcher comes to a set. Now, it's no secret, sacrifice bunting is not really a secret. It's not like a hit and run, okay, or a bunt for a base hit. I don't care if the defense knows I'm bunting after the pitcher comes to a set. When the pitcher comes to a set, we're going to turn our back foot, okay? We're going to open up our front foot slightly. We're going to bend our knees and get really low to the ground to shrink our strike zone. If you're standing straight up, your strike zone is pretty large. The lower you get, the more your strike zone shrinks. And therefore, the harder it's going to be for the pitcher to get a strike called from the umpire. Okay? So here we are. We turn, we drop, and we set the bat at the top of the strike zone. From there, if the ball's below, all we're going to do is bend our knees to drop the bat to the ball. Okay? My hand should be right around where the logo is. My bottom hand is at the end of the bat. This gives me good bat control. I know a lot of guys like to kind of do this because it softens the bat a little bit, but I can soften the bat just with a loose grip in my top hand, and I do a lot of bunting drills with my top hand only. Okay? So we turn, we drop, we set the bat at the top of the zone. The bat angle should be slightly elevated. Do not drop the bat. I like to keep my elbows pointing down. A lot of guys have their elbows up when they bunt, causes big problems. Keep those elbows down. And last but not least, I didn't learn this until professional baseball. It's easier to be soft when you bunt when you got your weight on your back leg. Okay, a lot of times when we turn, we naturally want to get our weight on our front foot. That causes a lot of problems. It causes the ball to get popped up. Some of the best bunters I saw were actually pitchers, okay, in professional baseball, because that's all they do is bunt all day. And one guy was sitting on his back leg like this, bunting the ball. And it was so soft and he made it look so good. Once I started putting some weight on my back leg, it made everything a lot easier. Okay, so last thing, I guess, is where we're trying to bunt the ball. I mean, it's a sacrifice bunt, so it doesn't have to be directly on the foul lines, because realistically, I don't want the ball to go foul and then have to try it again. I want to get up there on the very first try, bunt the ball, and be done with it. So what we want to do is we want to try to bunt the ball down 2 lanes, down towards the first baseman, down towards the third baseman. Stay away from the pitcher, okay? That's the most dangerous one, is bunting the ball hard back at the pitcher, okay? Because he's going to be the one that's got the best chance to turn and get that lead runner out, okay? Now, whether you're bunting down the first baseline or the third baseline, that's kind of going to depend on how the defense is playing you. If you got the first baseman in your face right there, chances are I'm going to try to go down the third baseline. If I got the third baseman in my face, I'm going to try to go down the first baseline. Sometimes you go where the pitch takes you. I mean, because realistically, you're going to get out. If you could get the ball to just stop softly somewhere in this area out here, even if it's dead on, if it's soft and it stops, that's going to be a successful sack bunt. So it's not so much that you put it perfectly down the angle as much as it is that it's nice and soft. And the biggest trick that I learned to soften the ball is to bunt the ball off the last 4 inches of the bat. Okay, this is a sweet spot, and I know a lot of guys when they bunt, they want to put it here because it gives them some room for error, and I totally get that. But if you can learn to bunt the ball off the last 4 inches of the bat, that thing is going to land so softly that you're going to become a great sacrifice bunter. So I guess just to recap, hopefully I'm not forgetting anything, I'm sure I am, but you're in your stance, the pitcher comes set, I turn and I square. My elbows are down, bat's at the top of the zone, I'm nice and bent, weight slightly on my back leg. If the pitch is lower than my bat, I drop my knee to bunt. I can set my bat angle just by turning this bottom hand. Set the bat angle early, okay? If the ball's above my bat, I just pull it back. Boom, right there, and then drop, and do not run out of the batter's box until that ball is bunted. I see a lot of guys during a sacrifice bunt try to bunt and run, and they miss it every time. That's kind of being selfish or just ignorant. Your job is not to get out of the box quick. Your job is to bunt the ball softly and get that guy moved over. All right? So there's a lot to it. Probably forgot some stuff, but that there is how to sacrifice bunt.